Well, welcome to D Square Comic Reviews. I continue on with my Uncanny X-Men comic reviews. This is Uncanny X-Men number 13. This is, of course, another variant cover. Thanks so much to Eric Anderson and Comic Star Go in Sheffield Lake, Ohio. So, this is Uncanny X-Men number 13. However, it is really the third or technically fourth issue in this current story arc where Cyclops and Wolverine are out to set things right after almost all the X-Men disappeared during the Age of X-Men storyline. We're going to start with a non-spoiler review, and then I will move into some more spoilery topics. So let's begin. This is a good comic. It's certainly not a masterpiece or an epic, as those are normally saved for the conclusion of a story arc or things like that. This is a good comic, though, because it does move the story along in a logical way. It deals with the fact that we now have a team of X-Men after the events of the last issue, where Wolverine and Cyclops found those other mutants in the ONE facility. They are shown in their new base of operations, and Cyclops reveals his list of X-Men priorities that they must deal with, and it shows them dealing with that first item on the list, and it does end us with a reveal or even a cliffhanger, you might think of it as. Overall, the writing was good. Since we now have a new X-Men team, which now includes Alex Summers, there was some really good dialogue between Alex Summers and Scott Summers. It's an interesting dynamic to have both of the Summers brothers on the same team. That doesn't happen very often. We get some good action when they go after their first target. There's even a funny moment that's revealed about the costumes that they're wearing. The start of this comic, they're not wearing any costumes because they don't have any. Cyclops does manage to get them some, and it's just kind of funny. You'll have to see when you read the comic. Overall, the artwork is also very good, except for there are parts that are just very dark, and I had to spend some extra time digesting what was actually shown in the comic book. So overall, it is a good comic, and anyone that has been following along this current arc or the Uncanny X-Men in general, I think you should pick this up. Again, it is a logical progression of the current story arc, and I can't wait to see what happens next and how they deal with this list of priorities that Scott Summers has. Now we'll go ahead and we'll move into a little bit of spoiler territory. So if you don't want any spoilers whatsoever, now is the time. We're going to go 3. I'm telling you, it's time to go. 2. I hope to see you back after you're done reading. 1. Okay, it's spoiler time. On you if you're still here. All right, so like I said, this team is now set. It has, of course, Cyclops and Wolverine. It now has Havoc, which I mentioned earlier. We also have Wolfsbane. We have Magic. We have a couple of ones that I'm not so familiar with, and Mirage and Karma, and then finally Jamie Madrox. They are in their new base, which is the basement of a bar that one of Wolverine's friends own. Cyclops shows them this list of priorities, which has names on it like Magneto, Apocalypse, Dark Beast, the Mutant Liberation Front. Basically a hit list. Although Cyclops reveals that they can't do that anymore. It can't be about finding and eliminating. They all look at the list, and Magic feels that it's almost a suicide mission for them to go after these, mutants such as Apocalypse and Magneto, the Mutant Liberation Front, and other organizations. Cyclops admits that they definitely, they've got a tough job ahead of them, and would not blame or judge any of them for backing out now. And of course, in true hero fashion, they all decide to stay and take part in the mission. Alex Summers does mention that he doesn't think they're going to be very successful. They don't have any resources. Heck, they don't even have their suits. This is where Cyclops reveals that he did get some suits from the X-Men X-Mansion, the basement that is still intact. And Alex Summers looks at the uniforms and is like, are we sure we're in the right era here? And he says that because they're basically all like the X-Men 90s cartoon costumes, except for Alex Summers. He seems to have more of an updated costume. But nonetheless, in their new costumes, they head off to a lab of Dark Beast that Wolverine knows is still active. And certainly enough, they have a conflict there with these creepy android-looking things. And I say they're creepy because they have like human faces stretched over them. Well, as the X-Men are fighting them, Jamie Madrox joins the fray and informs them, like, hey, these are actually copies of mine that the Dark Beast got a hold of and was doing experiments on. There's one last Jamie Madrox copy left. It is in the process of dying and can't communicate, which is unfortunate because Cyclops, makes the assumption that one of these would know where the Dark Beast is. He then turns to Jamie Madrox and says, I know they can't communicate, but don't you have other ways of getting information from them? Indeed, he does. When he absorbs his copies back, he gains their knowledge. But he has some hesitation here because this copy is dying and he doesn't want to experience death. But unfortunately, there's no other way, so he just asks for some privacy. He absorbs the copy, goes through the agony of death, but does reveal that he now knows where the Dark Beast is. Of course, the X-Men go and confront the Dark Beast. They have a tough time of it at first, but due to a cool maneuver by Magic where she maneuvers one of her swords to go behind, she teleports the sword behind Dark Beast, has it go through him, and he is defeated. They're then back at their hideaway, and they're watching TV when they witness a news report where it is revealed that Scott Summers and the terrorist organization X-Men have been spotted. They show a picture of these terrorist X-Men, and it's not the X-Men that we're dealing with here. It's actually the Mutant Liberation Front. And what's even more curious is Hope Summers is with them. So we got a bit of a cliffhanger here, and that's where this ends. So good stuff. Not a masterpiece, not epic, but a great logical continuation of the story. I do think you should all pick this up. I like where this is going and can't wait to see what else is revealed. All right, guys, well, thank you very much. Please like and subscribe my channel. Hit the notification bars, and I love to interact with you, so I'd love to see some comics. Have a great day.